Alright. So, let's talk about these dreams. I want to put on my sunglasses. Alright, so, last night, I have a bunch of wild dreams. In fact, there's 3 dreams. One of them, I'm actually it's like Freddy Krueger. This is my second time this month I've had a dream like this, where I'm holding on to some sort of useful information, and I'm doing my best to drag it out. And was it this year? I'm not sure if it was this year. However, one of them was recently about where the whole dehydration thing, my dream's telling me that. So last night, my dreams are telling me that I need to do a routine. And like the pairing of the ways thing, set a clock and do it at the same time every day or something like that. And I want to say prayers too. So that's interesting. And I'm not really recollecting all of that, so hopefully some of that will be triggered. Now my dream is really messing me up. So I'm in some sort of room, okay, and it's not a room in any of these places, okay, it's somewhere I've never been before, and I'm with my mom and her current husband, and I'll be honest, he's African American, okay, so don't be a racist, alright, let's just put it that way. Now, him and my mom are like punishing me for something in the dream, and they're telling me I can't go anywhere or something like that. And in the dream, I am screaming. I'm screaming so loud, and I'm so mad, and I'm throwing some sort of hissy fit. Okay, and then at some point, I leave my phone and I escape. And then when I escape, her husband changes into her ex-boyfriend, basically, ex-fiance, or ex-husband, actually. Actually, they got married in the Disney castle. Carl Cosma, who's actually dead now. Wild story about him. He's a whole nother story. He's mad problem, let's just put it that way. So, anyway, suddenly it's Carl. And Carl is, like, out looking for me. And I leave the door open, and George runs out the door. And then so in the dream, I don't know where I am. It's not a house. It's not a place I recognize. Yet when I'm outside the house, it's the house I was telling you about, which I'm totally thinking about fucking taking you there today and just driving by because the memories of like my family owning the house and stuff like that and being there. And remember, I told you I always go backwards. I do this like type of regression type stuff. Whenever I'm going through life transformation, I somehow end up back here in South Florida and I'm going backwards. So it's especially ironic, you know, sharing all these stories with you and stuff like that. There's a lot of synchronicities going on right now. So anyway, in the dream, I escape. George comes out, and somehow I catch up to George, and somehow I lure him in an area near me where I can freaking grab him. So I grab him, and then I find a car in the neighborhood, and I put George in the car, and then I have some sort of rope somehow, and I tie up the door handle. How the heck does this make sense? I tie up the door handle so he can't get out, and then I start running towards the middle. I'll have to take a video of this place, Arbor Courts. I grew up there my entire life in Plantation, and there's a lot of history there. My glasses seem a little foggy. So anyway, I'm running down this place, and it's like somehow turns into a maze of some sort almost, okay? And like I end up going to a house that I'm thinking it's my friend Laura's house, and then it's not Laura's house, it's a different Hispanic family. And then in the Hispanic family house, they like totally welcome me, basically. And then they have like some sort of huge jacuzzi inside their house, okay? And like I remember in the dream thinking how I wanted to go in their jacuzzi. However, they're having dinner or something, and they all let me eat. An older spiritual woman, she kind of keeps her distance from me. However, the men and then younger women are totally interested in my story and what's going on. And I tell them that I'm running away and I'm hiding and I'm trying to find my friend Laura's house. Right? So then eventually I leave. And then when I leave, I remember getting lost inside the neighborhood. It's the same neighborhood. And then at some point, I'm walking around the neighborhood, and then it's a different guy who's African American, and he has caulking. However, it's the guy I'm running away from. He has like a caulking type device, basically, and he's acting like he's repairing the neighborhood in order to completely give basically, how would you say? Hopefully this cop doesn't turn around. I was going a little fast. All right, we're good. So, distraction. So somehow I'm like lost in the neighborhood. It's a completely different neighborhood now. It actually kind of reminds me of the neighborhood I have now. However, the layout and blueprints, architecture, whatever you want to say, is completely different. Okay, so I'm kind of lost. I'm running. I'm trying to get away from him, and he's hunting me down, basically. Yeah, it's almost like I want to say Michael Myers or Jason. I don't know which one it is. It's the one wherever, you're running, and it's like no matter what, they're like slowly, seemingly quickly coming up behind you to come get you. So now I'm running. I run towards his family, and I'm screaming how much I need help. Help me, help me. And then they literally ask me, like they're not sure if I'm being serious, that I desperately need help, okay? And I really did need help, so I had to explain to them, I need help, take me away. So I run to this family, and then the mom, with her husband by her side or something like that, they go up to BJ, Benjamin, BJ for short, my mom's husband, it suddenly turns back into him, and says that I said that he's abusing me, and I have to explain. So I don't know if she's alone with him, because somehow the husband is with me going up the stairs, taking me into the house to protect me with all the family. And then I'm telling the dad, or I'm telling the family, because there's a lot of people there, I'm telling them that no, they didn't abuse me in a sexual way. It was just some sort of unjust treatment kind of thing, which is interesting because it plays into the psychology of my life. Basically, my mom didn't, hit me, didn't abuse me physically. However, there is a lot of mental stuff and, stuff that I had to deal with and be a woman who took care of myself kind of thing on my own. So that's going on, and then BJ's basically denying any type of abuse, and then he walks away. And then I'm in the house with these people, and then when I get inside, I'm the one that closes the door behind, okay? And then on my side of the door, on the inside, is some sort of neon yellow pacifier type rubber thing that is supposed to go on the doorknob, and I pull it off, and it's supposed to be child safety. So I say out loud, can one of the mamas tell me how to put this back on? I'm a noob. I don't have any mom skills. I have no clue. I needed help, and they all, the girls start giggling. And right when you come into the house, the kitchen is to the left. Okay, I've never been here before. However, I remember every little detail, basically, of the house. And there's two women in the kitchen. One of them's a reddish, brownish hair girl, and she's definitely a mama. I mean, I don't remember seeing a baby or anything. Yeah, I noticed that she was a mama. And then, the dad or the man of the house or whatever, he had long blondish hair, and he's sitting like this sometimes, and he's talking and kind of philosophical, and he's mentioning how, I was asking is there a space that I can rent here? He's like, it's pretty tight here, however, yeah, we'll let you in. And I remember there's a lot of girls, there's a young girl who has blackish hair, and she's sitting next to another girl who I can't really remember what she looks like, or these two girls. From my impression, they're sisters, and they're kind of witchy. And one of them, they're both talking to me, and, I'm mixing up some information. However, there's one of them who's super spiritual. She has all these essential oil things with her, and their little vial things. I actually have an identical vial. It's a roll-on thing that I've kept forever because it says ocean on it, and it smells even though it's completely empty. I've held on to it for years because there's still remnants of that smell, and I've been wanting to try to find that again. I've also thought about taking off the roller ball and perhaps, adding additional water or something to get that smell more. So that's occurring. And then they passed me a wand. And then it's weird because in my dream, it seems like a black selenite type, or maybe black kyanite. I don't know. It's a weird thing. However, in the dream, she's passing me the wand, and it's rose quartz. It's a selenite rose quartz. It's weird structure, but it's also a wand. And then, like, I'm pretty sure there's poetry etched on it. And then there's, like, a third sister who's on the girl's left-hand side as she's facing me or whatever. So the girl's over here to my right, and she's a poet. And she's like, she gave another sister of the house, like, a folder or something. And inside of it is a gift that's a poem for her. Okay? So, I'm struggling to understand, like, all this interpretation of things, of what's going on. So I kind of, like, messed with my head, and now something else that's triggering and messing with my head is the symbology of leaving this ring at home. It's a ring that was from DTS. So that's a little mind-boggling and has me thinking about my actual true love. As much as I love him and loved our relationship we had in the past, however, you know, I need a man who can completely devote to me, and at least where I can be his number one, right? So perhaps that's some sort of spiritual meaning going on with leaving this at home, or losing it, or whatever is happening in the universe right now. Speaking of the universe, I want to talk about how after I lost my favorite sweater, the way, like, so I'm running late, by the way, and C is boarding, and I was group B, so I try to hop in somewhere, and it happens to be right behind a lady who's actually telling somebody, oh, you're losing your stuff out your bag, and I break the awkwardness of randomly jumping in line and skipping people, basically, by making a connection with this woman and saying, man, I wish somebody would have said that to me because I just lost my favorite sweater. And she's like, think about it like this, you just gave it to the universe, your favorite sweater. And it was just such deep symbology. And she was so genuine. She was like, I hope you find your sweater, because I was telling her that I was like upset, like I was basically right with her. I'm obsessively looking for my same sweater again online, after already sending an email to the Lost and Found, basically, to try to get my sweater back. I don't know, all this stuff, it only seems to make sense backwards, and I obsessively talk about that because I watched some sort of Steve Jobs documentary, or like segment, you could say, and he makes a speech at a college where he talks about how things only make sense when you connect the dots backwards, because he had basically learned code and all this different stuff, and none of it really made sense at the time of the things that were happening, yet they always make sense going backwards. So I have like a lot of these weird different things going on. There's also, you know, other secrets I'm keeping, dark family secrets and stuff like that, that just, I'm not really ready to address them, and it's not really appropriate. However, it is something that is inside and fucks with my mind, which is why I think that's why those dreams are happening with BJ, basically. It has to do with BJ. I feel like I should just say it now that I've already like gone that far. So my aunt Gladys was at one point staying with my mom, and supposedly my mom's husband was being inappropriate or touching her while she was sleeping or without her approval or something like that. And then it's really hard to know if that really happened, yet it's in the back of my mind, you know, if she said it, there's probably some truth to it. And what I'm thinking is that, like, they were all messing around, and, like, you know, she felt guilty about it later or something like that. Or perhaps he was intoxicated and he actually did something. I don't really know. Yet all of that had really made me kind of uncomfortable, to be honest. And I've always had, like, trust issues. And being someone that was sexually abused, and then people basically saying it was my fault, has also kind of messed with my head and stuff like that, and trying to make justifications. So that's a big weight on my chest and my shoulders and my life, things that I have to deal with. And I'm supposed to go see my mom and BJ on this trip. My video is getting long. I got a GTFO.